Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome back. As you guys can see by the title and the thumbnail of this video, we found a book at Ollie's and we're about to see if it's a flop or if it's a new fave. On page 180 of this book so far. Also, look at how cute this bookmark is. It came in a tea pack. Like what? This is so cute. But anyway, I am on chapter 24, page 180 of this so far. It's not a bad read, but it is very hard to follow in my opinion. I have been struggling with this book for a couple of days now, and I don't usually struggle that bad with books, but this one is really hard to follow. I'm not sure if it's the plot or if it's the writing or what's going on, but something about this just is not flowing right in my head. But it's not that it's a bad story. But my issue, another issue I'm having with it is the comprehension of what I'm reading. Like it's difficult to explain, even though I'm already 180 pages into it. So this is kind of not going so great so far. But I am done with like all of my out of the house errands for the day. So we are going to sit down and read some more of this and see how it goes, because yeah, like I said, as of right now, it's not going so great. But let's continue reading this book and find out if it's a flop or not. So yeah, let's go. Good morning. It is 9:48. I'm still reading this book. I am currently 48% through. And I think I mentioned yesterday that my reading comprehension with this book is uber down. Like, this is not a book that I have been able to sit down and come back to. If I sit this book down, I cannot just pick it back up and know where I am. And that's been very frustrating for me. So I don't know where the disconnect is between me and this book, but there is 100% a disconnect. I'm not really enjoying this read very much, and I want to, which is, I think, why I'm so irritated that this is ending up the way that it is, because I really wanted to enjoy this book, but I can't even tell you what happened in the beginning, and that was only 214 pages ago. So that's where the disconnect is, I believe, is just me not enjoying this writing, I think, is the issue. And that's something that's also really difficult for people like me who like to experiment with new books and finding different books and things like that. Like this video, the title, you guys, you know what I'm talking about. I picked this book up at Ollie's. If you guys have ever been to an Ollie's, you know where I'm coming from. So I couldn't guarantee that this was going to be a fantastic book whenever I picked it up because I found it at an Ollie's. I had never heard of this author before. I had never seen this book before. And so I wanted to give it a try, and I'm still going to continue giving it a try, but I am just having a disconnect with it. I'm just not enjoying something. I don't know what it is though, because it's not that I'm able to read the writing and it goes smoothly. So I really don't understand what's going on. So I am going to continue sitting here and reading this book until I decide I want to clean. But yeah, for right now, I'm gonna continue reading and drink my coffee and hope for the best with this book. But yeah, that's where I am right now at 48%. Just hit the 55% mark. Just got to chapter 31, page 243. It is starting to get more enjoyable at this point in the book, but you guys, I am 55% through this book. I'm usually one to try to steer clear of a DNF, which is what I am currently doing. I don't want to DNF this book. I want to give it a shot. But typically, if a book is not grabbing my attention the way that this one is not grabbing my attention, I will end up setting it aside and maybe coming back to it later. But for some reason, I really want to continue this book. That's why I'm so confused by this book, because I want to continue reading it, but my comprehension of it is jack shit to non-existent at all. There's just, I don't know how to explain the way I'm feeling about this book, but I just got 55% through. It is 10:50. I am half tempted to make myself some eggs and then continue reading this book, but I kind of just want to continue reading now. Maybe I'll read another chapter and then go make myself some eggs. daddy. Ouch. If Mother Nature could stop punching me in my uterus. I am 61% through Liberte right now. I am on page 269, chapter 34. I think the last time I spoke to you guys, I was talking about how this book really was just not capturing my attention. It really was, I was having a hard time comprehending what I was reading. Something wasn't feeling right with the writing. And now that I am 61% through, the book has just now started to get interesting. I don't know what that noise was. I just went to investigate, but I couldn't find anything, so. But anyway, the book has just now started to get interesting. The book is just now starting to capture my attention, which is really frustrating for me. I don't like reading 60% of a book, 269 pages of a book, to just become interested. I'm a little frustrated, but I am, like I said, on page 269. I am 61% through. I'm going to continue reading while I finish my coffee, and yeah. This is all that's left of the book. So, let's continue reading. Good morning. I am 84% through Liberte. I've got like 70 pages left in this book. And I remember mentioning yesterday that it had finally gotten to a point where I was interested in the book, and that continues to be the case. Yeah, it continues to be the case. I'm not having a bad time reading the last half of this book. It was the first half of this book that I had a bad time with, which is kind of why I'm just turned off by this book, I guess is the best way to describe it. Because I wanted to like it. I really, really, really did. Which is why I'm still giving it a chance. But the fact that I read like over 200 pages before I got to a point where I was like, oh, this could be something I could sit down and read. Are we joking? Anyway. I've got like 70 some pages left, like I said, so I will be finishing this morning. And yeah, let's continue drinking coffee and open this book up. Magic in this world is a bit confusing. I am having a hard time understanding it, but what I have understood is that, well, magic is bad in this time, I guess, and that's where I am with this book. You know what I mean? I am currently on page 394 out of 440, so very close to done. I'm intrigued to see how this ends, but that's about as far as it goes, and I'm kind of just excited to be done with this book. So let's continue reading, finish this book, and and then we'll have a chat. We'll chat upstairs. We'll chat upstairs. Okay. We finished Liberte by Gita Trelease. I got this book at Ollie's. Is it a flop or is it a new fave? I wouldn't say it's a flop, but it's definitely not a new fave. This is immediately going into my book stack that I am getting rid of. I don't want to keep this on my shelf. I mentioned a few times that this book was really hard to follow. I don't know if it was a disconnect with me in the writing or if it was just a disconnect with me and what I was reading. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for something like this. I'm not really sure what was going on, but I do know that I had such a hard time with this book. Once I got to like the 55% mark, the book started to get more enjoyable and I was able to pick up the book and want to continue reading. But this book felt so unnecessarily long. I feel like so much could have been cut out of this that probably would have made the story run a little bit smoother. Now, this book, from what I have understood, as much as I could understand from this book is basically set in Paris and magic is illegal, basically. But the way that the magic works in this story is that it's not just people who are magic. Items can be magic, houses can be magic, clothing can be magic, anything can have magic. So that's where it was kind of difficult to follow because I was like, well, I don't know. Like there was just it was very convoluted story. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't horrible. It was still, I'm going to rate it a 3-star. I can't rate it above a 3-star, and the last 50% of the book definitely kept it at a 3-star instead of going lower. So Liberte by Gita Trelease, 3 stars. Not a flop, but definitely not a new fave. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment downstairs. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.